the Financial Secretary, Mr. Paul Chen, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the SFC Regulatory Forum 2021. To start with, I want to thank the Financial Secretary for taking the time out of his very busy schedule to join us today and deliver the keynote address. I also want to thank everyone who is taking part in today's event, whether here at the Convention Center, and there should be about 500 of us in this hall, or watching online, where we have over 700 registered participants. I know some of you will remember our first regulatory forum back in 2014. The response was indeed very positive, and we decided to make it a regular event. We originally planned to hold a forum early last year, but for obvious reasons, it had to be postponed. That means the last time we held a public event like this was under 4 years ago. So we have a lot of catching up to do. We are very glad to finally have a chance to come together with the industry and other key stakeholders for what I hope is an honest exchange of views. Now, to say that a lot has happened in our markets over the past few years would be a bit of an understatement. The global financial landscape has changed dramatically in the space of a very short time. Hong Kong's markets have also gone through some significant changes. By any measure, they are now larger, deeper, and more connected with the mainland as well as with the rest of the world. At the same time, the financial institutions we regulate have become more complex and sophisticated, and we have seen a steady stream of new, innovative financial products coming on the market. Today will be an opportunity to take stock of these changes and focus on some of the most important areas on our regulatory agenda. As will become clear throughout the course of the day, the main theme running through all of these discussions is Hong Kong's future as China's international financial center. I want to be very clear about this right from the start. Hong Kong's status as a leading global financial center is here to stay. Today, Hong Kong is even better placed than before to attract more mainland firms looking for diversity and looking to diversify their sources of capital, and to be the hub for a range of investment flows between China and overseas markets. Since the launch of the Stock Connect program 7 years ago, one of our key priorities has been to provide a leading forum for overseas investors to access mainland markets. We have indeed made great progress, in large part thanks to our close and productive relationships with our mainland counterparts, especially with the China Securities Regulatory Commission. We and the CSRC share a common goal of getting ahead of risks in both markets, safeguarding investors, and upholding market integrity. And of course, this forms a strong basis for the expansion of mutual market access and further market integration in the Greater Bay Area. The rapid development of the Greater Bay Area will present abundant opportunities for the financial sector. And the nation's 14th five-year plan also shows the way for us to build on our strengths and enhance Hong Kong's unique role in the global economy. Most recently, the strong response to the new Asia futures contracts is another example of where we are breaking new ground. This is part of our work to build up Hong Kong as a risk management center, providing international investors with ways to manage their mainland exposures and hedge the attendant risks. We look forward to telling you more about ETF Connect, Wealth Management Connect, and other new developments that we're currently working on. In our capital markets, the introduction of the new listing regime for pre-profit biotech companies and weighted voting rights structure opened up whole new areas for companies and investors, and the results have been encouraging. We can already see the fruits of our efforts to attract a wide variety of companies to list on our market. Hong Kong is now Asia's leading hub for biotech fundraising. Another trend working in our favor is the greater China issuers seeking secondary listings, or so-called coming home to Hong Kong. So while Hong Kong has for many years now been one of the top IPO markets, we now have a far more diverse range of listed companies. Since the last forum that we held was back in 2018, market capitalization on the Stock Exchange of Hong Kong has increased 50%, and the number of listed companies has grown to more than 2,500. So enhancing Hong Kong's competitiveness as a global asset and wealth management center is also a top regulatory priority for us. Despite a volatile market and geopolitical tensions, net fund inflows in Hong Kong have stayed positive, and the asset and wealth management sector has seen strong growth. And that's not to mention the huge potential for Hong Kong to develop as a hub for green and sustainable finance, another area where Hong Kong has a strong future. However, these are uncertain times. The business landscape is rapidly changing, not only as a result of innovation and new technology, but also because of the pandemic and the geopolitical frictions. Another challenge has been the increasing interaction between technology and the financial services industry, which has given rise to new kinds of fraud and misconduct. You may have heard of the ramp and dump scams on social media. So today, we will also discuss how our investigations and enforcement efforts have become more complex and challenging. We will also talk about some of our initiatives to maintain the quality of our markets and safeguard the interests of investors. Throughout the past few years, we have been working closely with the financial industry to help them stay ahead of potential problems and manage the operational, financial, and regulatory risks. This allowed our markets to stay open and operate normally despite unexpected and unprecedented challenges. Let me once again express my thanks to everyone who has played a part in keeping our markets and our financial industry on a solid footing these past few years. As always, we are grateful for your support. And as a final word, let me assure you that you can expect more great things to come. Now, it is my great privilege to introduce our next speaker who will deliver the keynote address. He really does not require any introduction. But Mr. Paul Chen was appointed Financial Secretary in January 2017. Prior to that, he served as Secretary for Development and held a number of public service positions, including as a member of the Legislative Council. So on that note, let's have a warm welcome for the Financial Secretary.